We ask everybody on our podcast to tell us about their first love and first heartbreak. And maybe that's in middle school. Maybe it happened later for you. But could you tell us?
No, it's middle school. And this opens up that question that I'm starting to go through. I think I'm on the cusp of it with my children. I've got 15, 13, and 10. So definitely with the 15 and 13, it's starting to happen.
Yeah.
You probably know it, Penn, with 14. But this idea of love, that's a big word in my family. You didn't throw that word around. To feel it and say it was a very, very big deal to me. And I did. I had a girlfriend. And this, I'm going to tell you the story of the first love and the heartbreak. And they're going to have a common denominator of the breakup. And they broke up with me. Mm-hmm. I went away on a, like a field trip with a class to Madrid. And while I was, you have an allowance, right? And what do you do with that allowance? You spend it all on something for your girlfriend that you love, right? You don't forget everything else. You forget all the other people. They don't need a gift when I get back. But I got her this necklace, and then I got her this like crystal trinket, and then I got her like something else. And I came back and I unloaded these gifts on her. It was too much. It scared her. And she broke up with me right after I'd given all these gifts. But you know what it is? We've all felt it on the giving and on the receiving side. It's like, for whatever reason, it was too much. There was too many gifts. And she broke up. And I remember crying and having sleepless nights and really having trouble getting out of bed in the morning. And I remember my mom coming back to my bed and telling me, look, I feel for you. As positive as my mom always was. She could always tell with us kids when we were really hurting and come back and sit with us and go, let's sit here in the pain for a minute. I know this sucks. I know this hurts. And to hear that and then eventually get to, now remember, you're a catch. She's going to notice what she lost and all of us then start building the confidence. But mom was always good about let's sit in the pain right now. Your first heartbreak. That was the first one. The second one was later in middle school in the 8th grade. I met someone and it was going great. It was going. And she said to me, wrote me a note, and it said, I love you. And I was just, whoa, the feelings all the way to my fingertips out of my heart. I was, oh my gosh. And 2 weeks later,
oh no,
I said it to her. And the next day, she broke up.
Do you think it had to do with you sharing your feelings or coming on maybe what was too strong for her? Or what was it?
Well, it was that, but I mean, again, we're going to try and break down the science and math of love, which we know is a foolish thing to do anyway, because if anything, love's not really dignified. I mean, it's not fair, but the too many gifts were, I guess it intimidated her, or maybe there's that thing that we do young where, oh, now I know I got you. Bye-bye. I felt that before on my side where I felt somebody give it. I was like, oh, well, now you're just fully committed to me. Okay. I felt that before.
But you probably felt that after these incidents, right?
Yes. After these two,
right.
And the I love you, even though she had said it first, soon as I said it 2 weeks later, she broke up. And I remember that being a major heartbreak and made me very confused about, well, what's the love thing? What's the I love you mean?
Yeah.
Because she opened up to me and said it first. And now I came back, reciprocated, and we were supposed to meet in the middle and go higher and become more full. And now she went, oh. And so for her, now I'm older, I look back and I go, that's probably how she was feeling. She was beautiful and pretty and affluent, and I was the only guy in town, that she could date. And I think getting that, I don't know. I didn't study her history. Did she have a track record of getting guys in as soon as you got them to say that word? But that's what it felt like. That was the hinge that was like, okay, check. I felt like it was a check for her. Got them to say I love you. Okay, later, move on.
Did it make you more gun shy for like future relationships?
Probably. And I've still to this day, you know, one of my favorite scenes, if y'all ever see it, you ever see the film Adaptation?
Yes.
Spike Jonze.
It's one of my
directed.
favorite movies. Yeah.
You know the scene where Nicolas Cage, his brother's talking to his brother. He plays both the characters, and they're sitting. The Chris Cooper characters and Meryl Streep are coming through the swamp, hunting him down. And he goes, "You got to tell me about that girl Karen, man." They think they're about to die. And he goes, "You got to tell me about that girl Karen. Remember, she said you want to go to prom with me, and you said yeah, and then all her friends were there laughing because it was a joke. She never wanted to go with you. She just wanted to dupe you." He's like, "How'd you get over that so quick?" And he goes, "Well, I loved her." He goes, "I know, but that she duped you." He goes, "No, my love didn't depend on her loving me back. I unconditionally loved her. Go for it." And it's a beautiful little scene of love. Now, not one that in our youth, I think we can dare really understand. We can intellectualize it, but damn sure don't feel like that. Sure didn't feel like that to me then. It felt unfair. It felt I was scared of love. I was scared of the word. I was much more trepidatious to use that word, and I backed off and looked at the people in my life that were my family and one friend that I could say I love you, and I knew it was reciprocated no matter what. So I was very wary about when to next say that word or share that.
Definitely.
With somebody.
Yeah, I mean, so what we've found, so in the first season of this show, we actually had a lot of listeners submit stories, and what we found is that things like this can stick with people maybe their whole lives. And I feel like you certainly can appreciate that you seem to tap into the last, decade or so, tapping into this idea that people are really in need of encouragement. You know what I mean? And I'm just wondering if, because you have represented a certain kind of icon of masculinity, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I'm not making any estimations of how you feel on the inside, but that's really significant, and it's really interesting to me, and I think other people. Like, what was the journey of like young Matthew McConaughey, young like boy becoming a man? You know, like what, like I don't know how long or short you can make that arc.
Let me tell you one. Let me go back just before middle school to say something that was really written in my lineage, whether I chased it or not, which I didn't, right? But I understood it. My dad was a big, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, please, and thank you. Sir's a man guy. And you had to do it, look someone in the eye. And I remember one day meeting some more of his friends who were much taller than me and looking up and shaking their hand and going, "Nice to meet you, sir. Nice to meet you, sir." And the one thing that connected in my mind that day was the parking lot at Oak Forest Country Club. It was hot. The sun was high. They had shades on, and I didn't. My eyes squinted as I looked at him. I remember going, "Oh, you know what the one common denominator of everybody that my dad has had me say sir to is? They're all fathers." And manhood meant being called a sir. And the one thing about being a man was, oh, they're all fathers. That's the one thing they all are. So from that day, I was like, oh, you become a father, you become a man. That's it. That's the ultimate cool. That's the ultimate respect. That's when you become a sir. That's when you go from prince to king. Now, obviously, whatever, I'm 10, 11, 12 years old, I'm not chasing trying to be a father right away, but it was always, it got pressure tested by life throughout, in flings I had, in times where I thought I'd be single the rest of my life, in times where I thought I was going to become a monk or whatever. It was always right there going, no, they don't, that's a diamond. That's a diamond. That's timeless truth right there for you, Matthew. And it never wavered. And so that's what I was always looking forward to, facing if one day I can become a father.
In your book, Green Lights, it's one of my favorite books. I'm listening to it. I'm almost done, but I'm listening to it on audiobook. It's so rich to hear you tell these stories. But as I've been listening to it, I've been getting this sense that your dad is sort of like larger than life, like kind almost like a mythic character.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, now that you're a father and you've been a father for many, many years now, what are the elements of parenting that you saw in your father that you've decided intentionally to bring into your own fatherhood? And are there elements that you have decided to just like gracefully let go of?
Both, and trying to ride, trying to do that thing I think that all of us try and do is just have a small ascension.
Mm-hmm.
Be a little bit better dad than maybe my dad was. Be a little bit better friend. Be a little bit better husband, whatever those things, because we learn. That's what we get older for. That's what we have hindsight for. That respect, that sirs and ma'ams, we're still big on those in our household.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Old Testament way, if we're going to go biblical, is like you do it because it's your elder and you better do it. Show respect. Valid, yes. But also the New Testament thing that I've added onto that is, look, guys, you also do it because you're going to get more of what you want in life if you do. String the honey to the bees to the honey. You see that person double take back at you and go, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir, for those manners. That's you're building currency in relationships with that respect.